Looking for inspiration in the week ahead for inner awareness or personal growth work? Perhaps you're a journal keeper and want some ideas on what to write about, what to contemplate on. If so, stay tuned. In this video, we are using the Book of Shadows Tarot for our weekly reading. Hi, it's Leia. Welcome to this episode of Diaries of a Witchy Creative Life. As I said in the intro, we are using the Book of Shadows Tarot for this weekly reading. What's so special about this is, well, there are a few things, but there are two decks, As Above and So Below. As Above has an older-fashioned, witchy, pagan style to it. So Below has modern artwork. And there are a few artists who worked on this deck. The book is written by Barbara Moore. I'm putting back the 3 cards that we pulled earlier. I took them out of the frame so that you can see the box. I really love the concept and the 2 tarot decks that are part of this kit. This time around, we are using the So Below deck, which is the one with a more modern day style. Maybe in another weekly reading or in a different reading video, we can use the As Above deck. So let's dive in. If you're new here, the style of the readings on this channel isn't predictive. Instead, we'll be taking a look at the messages on each card as points to ponder for healing and self-awareness purposes. We aren't following any particular spread, and we'll be looking at the cards individually. Okay, card number 1. We have the 8 of Chalices, or the 8 of Cups, as some of you might know it. The 8 of Chalices, or again, the 8 of Cups, is about not finding fulfillment and wanting to leave a situation behind, with a deeper question being, what loose ends might there be left to tie up? Because sometimes for some of us, we feel like, oh, I'm done with this and I'm going. And we don't realize that we actually aren't done with it. We can't just pretend that there's nothing more left to do or take care of in that situation. So if that applies to you, what situation could that possibly be for you? Another interpretation / message here is about what might look good on paper or on the surface, but it isn't bringing you joy. You know it isn't for you. So you might have been thinking about leaving it, or giving it up, or switching paths. It's even possible that this isn't something that is on the surface of your awareness right now, and this is an opportunity for you to think about that. What is there in your life that might seem to be such an awesome thing? Maybe you've been putting up with it because you've told yourself that you should be grateful for it. But in truth, you aren't getting anything out of it. It straight up might not be working for you, and you've gotten used to having it around or being part of it, that you just haven't done anything about it. For some people, it could be a big thing, like being in a relationship where they've stuck around for years because, hey, the partner that they're with is a good person. In some cases, behind the scenes they may not be, but they're known to be a good person at least. And sometimes in cases like this, your self-esteem, your self-worth could be so low that you don't believe that you could do better, or that you even deserve to be in a situation like that. On the less extreme side, some of us stick with books or TV shows, day-to-day things like that actually don't bring us joy. But maybe you were taught to finish what you started, so you allow it to continue to take up your time and energy, even though there's something that you'd much rather be doing. Or it could also refer to habits that you've been sticking with because they've been working out all right, but how much do they inspire you? For example, the kind of food you eat. Some people eat the same thing for years, even if it is kind of meh, because they've gotten so used to it, and it means they have to put the energy into finding a replacement or new recipes or something like that if they were to make a change. Even the company we keep. If you've been hanging out with certain people for quite a while, what kind of influence do these people have on your life? Do you truly enjoy being with them? Or is it more of you're tolerating their presence? If you don't relate to any of these examples, what could your version of this be? Where can you add more fulfillment, more contentment to your life? Even if it means that, yes, you do have to start over. You may have to leave something behind. You may have to scrap something you've been working on and start fresh. And by all means, go ahead and think about that. You don't necessarily have to come up with the answer right now. In the meantime, let us move on to card number 2, which is number 14 in the Major Arcana, Temperance. This card is about balance, moderation. So, what might you need to temper in your life? Or, on the other hand, what could you use more of? The Temperance card isn't just about making sure you aren't overdoing something. It is about balance after all, so the opposite might also apply to you. So for those who've been working hard, maybe it's time to have more fun, or to relax more, to make sure you get some self-care rituals in, or you catch up on some reading, get to watch a movie, take naps. And for others, it could be that you've been overindulging. Where in your life can you make this adjustment? And while you're at it, since one of the main purposes of our readings is to do shadow work, you might as well take a look at why you've been overindulging, or why, for some, addictive tendencies have kicked in. Is there something you're avoiding perhaps, or maybe you're acting out in some way and need to address that? For example, someone who's really unhappy at their job could be partying a lot lately, and it's because when they do a little digging, they discover that it's too much of a process to quit this job and to start anew. And so, okay, how they cope is to party a lot. But of course there's a trade-off. You end up not taking care of yourself and hurting yourself as well. In that case, it might be one of those moments where it's time to take a long, hard look at your situation instead of allowing it to keep going for weeks, months, or years and take an even bigger toll on you. Now, card number 3 is the 2 of Wands. I'm going to adjust the light to get that glare off the card. Here, let me scoot the light over there. That's better. The 2 of Wands is about creating a plan. What's next? Is there anything you want to explore or further look into to see if it's right for you? To see if it's something you want to do? Also, 2s in the tarot are about choices, decisions. And in the case of the 2 of Wands, the options here are you stay within your comfort zone, or you look at what's beyond that. And okay, let's say you do have an idea of what it is you want to try or want to explore. You don't have to jump into it immediately. There's a reminder here about making a plan, like I mentioned, and so how can you plan for that? For example, someone might be wanting to get a degree. They've been a stay-at-home parent for many years, and their kids and partner are still dependent on them to take care of them and to run the household. But they're feeling this call to go back to school. And so, after looking into the practicalities and considerations and whatnot, they make the decision that they're going to wait one more year before making the jump. But within the span of that year, they are going to be making plans as to how they can do it efficiently, where the needs of their family are still taken care of, even if it is in a different way, and even if it means they're gonna be around less, so their kids and partner have some time to get used to that idea. Maybe they can find someone to help whom they trust, or who's qualified. Or if not, there might need to be some adjustments, like family helping out in some way. Let's say they live close to the kids' grandparents, and they don't mind helping out with making some meals or something like that. So for you who are watching this, what's something that you want to dive into or explore? Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I say it all the time, but it's true. I had so much fun doing this. I love seeing what messages there are for us week after week that might be helpful or insightful for anyone who loves doing self-awareness work. I'll be back at the end of next week for another of the weekly readings, and in the meantime, there will be more inner awareness, shadow work, healing, tarot type videos on this channel. So if you enjoyed this, please subscribe if you haven't yet so you don't miss a thing. Until then, take care of yourself. Bye for now. So many more diaries of a witchy creative life are coming your way.